So hello everyone and welcome to More Wellness TV. My name is Antonia and I'm going to be taking you through your forearm flow today. So you are going to be needing a block and a strap. So get on your mat and we will start in a child's pose. So if you come down onto your knees and you want your big toes touching, bring your knees wide and then begin to walk your arms forward, allowing your head to rest down on the floor, onto the mat. And just take a few moments to ground yourself. And just beginning to bring your awareness to your surroundings. And bringing your awareness into this space, onto your mat. And visualizing yourself on your mat in a child's pose. And then turning your awareness inside of your body. And beginning to soften the space between your eyebrows. And then relaxing your jaw. And see if you can find a little bit more relaxation in the arms and your shoulders. And beginning to breathe into your upper back. And really feel your upper back expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, see if you can soften your body down towards the floor a little bit more. And breathing in through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth. Inhaling through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And just notice where your mind is going. Notice what's capturing your mind. And then see if you can turn your awareness back to your breath. And then take another big breath in through your nose, imagining your breath starting from the base of your spine, moving up all the way to the top of your head. And this time you're going to hold your breath at the top. And then see if you can take in a little bit more air. And a little bit more. And then exhale it out. And see if you can stretch your arms a little bit further forward as you exhale. Again, take another big breath in through your nose, holding your breath at the top, and taking a little bit more air, and a little bit more, and then exhale it out. And then slowly begin to roll your body up onto all fours, having your wrists underneath your shoulders, have your knees underneath your hips. Make sure your fingers are spread wide and you're going to start in a cat and cow. So keeping your core engaged, take a big breath in, begin to lift up your chest, look up. And as you exhale, push down into the mat, rounding in your shoulders, bring your chin to your chest. Again, big breath in, lifting up, and exhale, round. So it's a really nice way to warm up through your shoulders, through your arms, and also the entire back and your hips. So do a few more cat and cows in your own time. Feel free to close your eyes. And then coming back to a neutral tabletop position, you're going to move your body in circles. So move your hips down towards your heels and then move your shoulders forward over your wrists. So when you're coming forward with your shoulders, make sure you push into the palms of your hands. And once you've done a few one way, move in the other direction. Again, make sure your fingers are spread wide, including the thumb. The thumb usually wants to bend, so make sure you have the thumb spread out towards the side so you're protecting your wrists. And then come back to center. You're just gonna move your palms around in circles. So warming up through the wrists. So lifting up one palm, lifting up the other. And you can also turn to the tops of your hands and just be gentle with your wrists. And then coming back to a neutral tabletop position. And you're going to lift your hips up, moving into your first downward facing dog. So you want your feet to be hip distance apart, spreading your toes wide. Again, look towards your fingers, spreading your fingers really wide. And then feel free to have a little bend in your knees for this downward dog. Moving your chest towards the floor, but at the same time, push into the hands. Take a big breath in through your nose and then exhale out through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and then exhale out through your nose. Last one, inhale through your nose and exhale out. So we're going to do some reverse vinyasas to warm up through the shoulders. So coming forward onto your tiptoes, roll your body forward into a high plank. Core is engaged, elbows in as you lower down, exhale. Inhale, lifting up, press the tops of your feet down, coming into an upward facing dog. And then lower your chest, coming back into a low plank. Push into the palms of your hands, round in your upper back, and then send your hips back into a downward facing dog. Again, up on your tiptoes, roll forward, high plank. Lower down into a low plank. Flip the toes, lift up. Inhale, pull the shoulders down the back, push into the hands. And then curl the toes under, lower the chest back down to a low plank. Push into the hands, and then send your hips back into a downward facing dog. So we have one more. Up on your tiptoes, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, lower down, low plank. Flip the toes, lift up, inhale. Exhale as you lower down to a low plank. Push into the palms of the hands and then send your hips back into a downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through your nose and exhale out through your nose. Coming up onto your tiptoes, begin to step your feet towards your hands. When you get to the top, take hold of your big toe with your finger and your thumb. Lift up your chest, look forward, pull your lower belly in towards the spine. And then folding forward, dropping your head down towards your knees. So you want to feel your heels engaged. Push down into your heels and feel them more or less gripping the mat. So it's almost like your heels are trying to touch each other. Engaging your inner thighs. 2 more deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your nose. Lifting up your chest halfway, breathing in. This time, place your hands underneath your feet, walk your toes towards your wrists, lift up, and then folding forward again, head down towards the floor. So you want to put a little bit more pressure in the palms of your hands, and then lift up through your kneecaps, pull your lower belly in, and imagine your torso moving down along your legs. Take a big breath in, lift up your chest, release your hands towards your hips, shuffle your feet together, bend your knees, sweep your arms up, coming into a chair pose as you inhale. Exhale, folding forward and down, straighten your legs, drop your head. Lifting up halfway, breathing in. Bend your knees, step or jump back into a high plank. Exhale, lower down, take a regular vinyasa flow. Inhale, lifting up, and then hips back into your downward facing dog. So bring your left foot to the middle of your mat, lift your right leg up, 3-legged dog. Rotate your ankles, and then bend your knee, and bring your knee in towards your right elbow. You're gonna tap your arm if you can, and then kick your leg up towards the ceiling. Again, bring your knee in towards your left elbow, so you're twisting. See if you can tap your arm, and kick it up. Last one, bring your knee in towards your nose, hold, and then step your foot forward in between your hands, coming into a high lunge. Reach your arms up, spread your fingers wide, reach up tall. So engage through your feet. You want to push your heel down into the floor and then squeeze your left glute. So you should feel a nice stretch in the front of your left hip. Reach up and lower your hands down to the floor. Step your right leg back, lowering down, exhale. Breathe in, lifting up and sending your hips back into a downward facing dog. Over to the left side, lift up your left leg towards the ceiling, squeeze your glutes, rotate your ankles, and then bend your knee, draw your heel down towards the right side, and then bringing your knee in towards your left elbow, tap your arm, hold, and kick it up. Again, bring your knee towards the right elbow, twist, hold, and kick it up. Last one, bring your knee in towards your nose, holding here. Shift your shoulders forward, lift up, and then step your foot forward in between your hands. Reach your arms up, coming into a high lunge. So core is engaged, rib cage is pulled in, reach up tall, squeeze your right glute, push into your left foot. Make sure your toes are spread really wide so you have an even surface in your foot, and it helps with balance. And then releasing your hands down to the floor. Left leg steps back. Exhale down. Inhale, lifting up. And then send your hips back into a downward facing dog. So we're moving into turbo dog. So spread your fingers wide. You want to wrap your elbows inwards and then begin to lower them down. So they're more or less hovering an inch up off the floor. You can drop your head so you're looking toward your knees. And staying here for 5. Breathe for 4. For 3. For 2. Don't let them touch. And for 1, straighten your arms. Take a few moments in your downward facing dog. And then lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. And bend your knee. And then step your foot forward in between your hands. We're moving into a triangle pose. So straighten your right leg. Back heel drops to the floor. My right hand is on the outer edge of my foot, and then reaching my left arm up towards the ceiling. So push into your feet. If it's too much to have your right hand completely flat, you can bring your hand to a block and then lift your left arm up. Squeeze your glutes and lift up through your kneecaps. Reach up a little bit taller and releasing. Bring both hands down to the floor, taking a vinyasa flow. Lowering down, exhale. Inhale, lifting up, and then send your hips back into a downward facing dog. Over to the left side, left leg lifts, and stepping your foot forward in between your hands. Straighten your front leg, back heel drops to the floor, moving into a triangle pose on this side. So engage through your feet, engage your thighs, lift up your kneecaps, pull your lower belly in, reach up a little bit taller with your top hand, and releasing, hands down to the floor. Step your left foot back, take a vinyasa flow, lower down, lifting up, and send your hips back into a downward facing dog. Moving into Dolphin Pose. So you can have your block placed in between your hands if you like. So you create that L shape. And then maybe you drop your forearms down to the floor and then lift up your legs. However, if you're not using your block, you want to still keep your hands wide. Press the tips of your thumbs together. And then you lower down onto your forearms, lifting up your hips. Walk your feet in towards your elbows. Push into your forearms. Staying here for 5. Breathing for 4. For 3. Keep pushing into your arms. For 2. And for 1. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Move your chest maybe down through your arms. Staying here for 5. For 4. For 3. Try to flatten your left heel. For 2. And for 1, swap your feet over, right foot down, left leg lifts. Staying here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Come back onto your hands and drop your foot down into a downward facing dog. Right leg lift up towards the ceiling, and then step your foot forward in between your hands. Begin to straighten your front leg, and then you want to shuffle your back foot inwards just a tiny bit, dropping your heel. Move your right hip back, and then move your chest forward. Take an inhale, and then exhale, drop your head down towards your knee. If it's too much to have your back heel flat, you can be up on your tiptoes, if you like, with your back foot. Keep moving your chest down towards your foot. Moving with your breath and pushing down into your front heel. And then we're moving into a standing split. So you want to take your right hand, wrap it around the back of your front leg. So you want your chest to be quite close towards your front thigh, and it just deepens the stretch in your hamstrings and your calf. So tip your weight forward, try to flatten your left hand, and then lift up your left leg towards the ceiling. Drop your head, staying here for 5. Squeeze your left glute for 4. You want your fingers to be pulling forward with your left hand for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly drop your back foot down towards the floor. We're coming into a revolved twist. So you want to take your left hand, bring it to the outer edge of your right foot, and then begin to reach your right hand up towards the ceiling. Look towards your fingers. Move your right hip back. Squeeze your inner thighs and your front heel together. And then releasing both hands down to the floor. Stepping back. Take a flow. Exhale down. Inhale, lifting up. And send your hips back into a downward facing dog. Other side, left leg lifts up. Step your foot forward in between your hands. You want to straighten your front leg. Again, feel free to be up on your tiptoes with your back foot, or you can drop your back heel down to the floor. Take a big breath in as you lift up your chest, and then exhale, fold forward and down. Holding here. Push into your front foot, into your heels. Remember to spread your toes wide so you're stabilizing your ankle. And then moving into that standing split. So take your left hand this time, wrap it around the back of your leg, catch hold of the back of your ankle. Tip your weight forward, flatten your right hand, and slowly begin to lift up your back foot. Look towards your knee. Staying here for 5. Breathe for 4. Keep kicking your back leg up. Squeeze your glutes for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly drop your back heel down towards the floor, moving into a revolved twist on this side. So drop your right hand to the outer edge of your left foot, and then twist as you reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. So really feel yourself pushing down into your front hand to get more of that twist. As you reach up tall with your left hand, look towards your fingers. And releasing. Both hands down to the floor, stepping your left leg back. Take a vinyasa flow. Exhale down. Inhale, lifting up. And then send your hips back into a downward facing dog. We're going to move on to pincha. So you can drop your forearms down to the floor. If you did some of the other series, you can now use your block and your strap if you like, or you can just press the tips of your fingers together. So you're going to walk your feet towards your elbows, and you can start maybe with just a few hops. So you can practice hopping, and then maybe you catch your balance. You can keep one knee bent, or you can stag your legs. So you can scissor your legs, you can bend your knees, push into the forearms, hold, and then maybe you work on straightening. So you can bring both feet together, push into your forearms, staying here wherever you are. If you fall down, see if you can come back, and then lower down into a child's pose. So drop your head, take a few moments. Breathing in through your nose and out. So feel free to pause the video if you like, if you would like to practice your forearm stand a little bit more before we slow down and close the practice. If not, staying in your child's pose. Relaxing through your shoulders and your arms. And breathing into your upper back. And breathing into your chest. And then slowly begin to roll your body up, coming onto the front of your body, laying down. Bring your arms down by your side, and we're going to move into locust. So the palms of your hands are facing up towards the ceiling. Feet are hip distance apart. Roll your shoulders down your back. Push your hips into the floor, squeeze your glutes, lift up through your kneecaps, and then slowly begin to lift up your chest, lifting up your arms and your feet. And you're going to hold here. Breathing in and out. Lift up your legs a little bit higher, squeeze your glutes, and then releasing down and bringing your right cheek to your mat. Next, we're going to move into a bow pose. But if you're unable to catch your feet, then feel free to do locust. Or you can use your strap. If you have two straps, you can make a small loop and put it around your feet as you come into a bow pose. So bring your chin back to center and then catch hold of the outer edges of your feet. You're going to push your hips into the floor and then begin to lift your knees up off the mat. Maybe you walk your hands down towards your ankles. You're holding here. Remember to breathe. And feel free to close your eyes. And then releasing down. Releasing your arms. Bring your right cheek to your mat. Rock your hips. And you can rock your feet too. And then we'll do one more bow, but we're going to change the hand rotation. So this time we're going to bring the hands to the inside of the feet. So bend the knees, catch hold of the inside of your feet. So your thumb is more or less pressing on the soles of your foot, or both feet, sorry. And then push into your hands, lifting up. So notice the difference that you may feel with the hand variation. Remember to breathe. And then releasing down. Again, drop your right cheek. Rotate through your wrists. Rock your hips. Move your feet from side to side. And then bring your head back to center. Place your hands by your rib cage. Push up into a downward facing dog. And then step or hop your feet towards the hands. And you're going to slowly begin to roll down onto your backs. So bring your arms forward. Core is engaged. Lift up through your chest. And then slowly begin to roll all the way down. As you're rolling, your feet are going to want to lift. Allow your feet to lift. Holding here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bring your hands up over your head. Staying here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower all the way down, coming into a wheel pose. So you want to bend your knees, have your feet about hip distance apart, and you want to bring your arms down by your side. We'll do a bridge first, and then we'll work towards wheel. Again, just opening out through the shoulders. So flatten your lower back, squeeze your glutes as you lift your hips up towards the ceiling. You may want to bring your shoulders a little bit more in towards each other, and holding here. So feel free to stay here, or we're going to work towards a wheel pose. So bring your hands by your ears. Fingertips are facing your shoulders, and your elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. Push into your hands, come to the top of your head. So this is option 2. Option 3, you're going to push into your hands and coming into a full wheel pose. So feet are facing forward, no duck feet, you don't want them to turn out. Squeeze your glutes, lift up through your chest. You can come up onto your tiptoes if you like, particularly if you want to feel it more in the upper back. Look in between the hands and then slowly begin to lower. Bring your chin to your chest and then lower all the way down to the floor. Keep your feet flat down on the floor and then rock your knees into center. Place both hands onto your lower belly. And just find a few moments of stillness. And breathing into your lower belly. And then we're going to move into plow to close this practice. So you want to bring your arms down by your side and you're using momentum to get your legs over your head as possible. So you can keep your hands on your lower back if you like, or you can interlace your fingers behind you. So if your feet are up off the floor, I would advise that you keep your hands on your lower back just to support you and your neck. You can bring your elbows closer in and you can hold here. You can also wrap your arms around your legs if you like. And then you're going to release your hands slowly and then coming all the way down with your hips. Last and final pose, coming into a fish pose. So bring your hands underneath your glutes. Push into your forearms. Lift your chest. Take a big breath in and then drop your head down to the floor as you exhale. Breathing in through your nose and then exhale out through your mouth. And then when you're ready, you're going to release your head down to the floor and bring your arms down to the side. Legs are hip distance apart, coming into Shavasana Pose. And see if you can remain in Shavasana for a full 5 minutes. And just allow your body to take a few moments rest.